The night begins with stillness. A hush lies over the world, as if the earth itself is holding its breath. The sky is vast, dark, and endless, but scattered with gentle light. Stars glimmer like lanterns hung above an invisible road. The air is soft, carrying the faintest sigh of wind, like a lullaby whispered from far away. In this stillness, a doorway waits, not carved of stone, not made by hands, but a passage older than time. It is the crossing every soul will know. The first step beyond the body, the first drift into the unseen. The ancients spoke of this moment with tender awe. The Egyptians imagined a shining river, where the soul was ferried across by sacred hands. The Greeks dreamed of a boat guided by a shadowed oarsman, carrying travelers to the other shore. The Norse told of a bridge of trembling colors, a rainbow arch between realms. Others spoke of a gate, a threshold, or a gentle doorway opening in the silence of the night. Though the images were different, all whispered the same truth. The soul passes gently, like a feather floating on the breath of the wind. Now, imagine this moment as your own dream. The body rests. The breath grows deep, steady, calm. The chest rises and falls, as waves on a still shore. Then softly, the spirit begins to drift. It lifts as if on unseen waters, carried by something larger, something kind. There is no struggle here, no weight, no fear. The crossing is as natural as night following day, as sleep following wake. The soul is simply released, like a bird whose cage has opened, wings unfolding at last. The ancients often spoke of guides waiting at this threshold. Some pictured ancestors, their faces familiar, their voices filled with warmth. Others dreamed of luminous beings, angels or guardians, shining with quiet light. Some imagined animals, horses, birds, or wolves, spirits who carried the traveler across. Each vision was a way of saying, "You are not alone. You are never alone at the crossing." Now, the air grows brighter, not with the light of day, but with the glow of something unseen. The soul moves forward, through the hush, toward that light. A river appears, endless and calm, its waters black as night, yet shimmering with starlight. The air is cool, the breeze soft. The sound of the river is steady, like a heartbeat echoing in the distance. Here, the soul steps to the water's edge. There is no need to swim, no need to fear, for a boat waits, quiet and still. Rocking gently, the oars rest across its wooden frame. Worn smooth by countless journeys, you step within, and the boat holds you, as if it has always known your weight. The river carries you forward. The current is slow, patient, like a lullaby that never ends. The stars above seem to drift with you, keeping watch, guiding silently. The far shore is hidden in mist, but it does not matter. The journey itself is enough. The water cradles you, the boat holds you, the night enfolds you. In other lands, this crossing was seen as a bridge, a span of light stretching into the horizon, shimmering like a dream. Some bridges were said to be wide and golden, others narrow as a thread, but always they reached from one shore to another, from what was known to what was waiting. The soul steps upon it, not with effort, but with ease, as if weightless. Each step is softer than air, carried by trust alone. Still others dreamed of a doorway, a threshold that opens not with hands, but with breath. One moment, you are here, and the next, the door has opened. It is not loud, not sudden. It is like a curtain of air parting. One step, and the world behind fades, while the world ahead unfolds. No matter the shape, river, bridge, or doorway, the truth is the same. The crossing is gentle. The passage is safe. It is a return, not a loss. It is a homecoming, not a leaving. The ancients told these stories by firelight, their voices hushed. They spoke of the first steps with reverence, so that the living might not fear. For to them, the crossing was not an end, but a beginning. It was a journey into the great mystery, into the heart of peace. Now the river grows wider. The mist thickens, folding around the boat. The stars above soften into a silver haze. There is no sense of time, no need to measure distance, only drifting, steady, calm. The sound of the oars dipping in water fades away. Even the river seems to still. There is only silence now, vast and tender. It is a silence that soothes, not empties. It is a silence that comforts, not frightens. It is the silence of rest. The soul feels lighter still, as if it were only breath, only song. Every burden falls away, every worry, every weight dissolves like mist in the morning. There is only ease, only freedom, only peace. Here, the ancients would say, the soul is welcomed. A hand reaches from the mist, not to pull, but to guide. A voice speaks, not in words, but in warmth. The heart recognizes it, as if it has always known. The soul steps forward, and the crossing is complete. But endings are not harsh here. They are soft, like the last note of music, fading into quiet, like the last ripple of water, while settling into stillness, like the last breath before sleep, deep and calm. Now, the boat disappears into the mist. The river fades, the bridge dissolves, the doorway closes. Behind, what remains is peace, what remains is rest. The soul has crossed, the journey has begun. The silence of the crossing lingers, holding everything in calm embrace. Let us drift onward. Let us follow the hush into deeper sleep. The threshold has opened, and the spirit is safe. The crossing is complete. Now rest as the stars return. Now rest as the river grows still. Now rest as the night holds you in its arms. The night is quiet, and the stars above shimmer like silver sparks resting in velvet. The air is still yet filled with a sense of movement, as if something unseen is flowing. A soft current hums in the silence, gentle and steady, like the pulse of the earth itself. It is the sound of water, endless, patient, eternal. Here begins the river. Not a river of stone and soil, but a river of spirit. Its waters appear in the dreams of countless peoples, spoken of in whispers and hymns, painted in the hearts of the ancients. The Greeks called it Styx, a shadowed stream where oaths were bound and souls were carried. In the East, rivers of light and rebirth shimmered through the hymns of the Vedas, washing souls into new life. The Egyptians knew of sacred waters too, where boats of the sun crossed from night into day. The names changed, yet the vision was the same, a river flowing between here and beyond, carrying the soul from one shore to another. The river waits in silence, dark yet glimmering with starlight. Its surface ripples like glass touched by a breeze. It is not frightening, not sharp, but deep and steady. When one stands at its edge, there is no need to ask questions. The current itself seems to answer, "Come, drift, be carried." A boat rests upon the bank. Sometimes it is small, carved from wood, waiting with oars. Sometimes it is vast, gilded with gold, shining like the sun. And sometimes there is no boat at all, only the river itself, welcoming the soul into its arms. In every telling, there is a crossing, a passage not made with footsteps, but with surrender. The river moves, and the spirit moves with it. Imagine the boat now, rocking softly, waiting for your step. Its timbers creak, but not in fear. It is strong, built for journeys, built for this very moment. The air carries the scent of water, cool and endless. The stars above lean closer, their light reflecting in ripples that shimmer like silver threads. You place yourself within the vessel, and it steadies, as if it has always known you. The oar dips into the water. The sound is low, like a heartbeat in the dark. The current takes hold. The boat begins to glide. The shore behind grows quiet, fading into mist. The world ahead is hidden, but the river does not rush. It carries you slowly, tenderly, like a cradle rocking in the night. The Greeks said the Styx was cold, its waters heavy with shadow, yet even they knew it was not cruelty, but necessity. To cross was to step into truth, to leave behind the weight of earth. The Vedic song spoke of rivers as mothers, washing souls into new forms, new lives. Each current was a womb, each wave a promise, between shadow and light, fear and comfort. The river was always the same, a bridge made of water, guiding each soul to where it belonged. The river glides on. Sometimes the air around it feels heavy, like twilight thick with memory. Sometimes it feels light, like dawn breaking over calm waters. In all ways, it is vast. It stretches farther than sight, deeper than measure. Its banks are veiled with mist, so no one knows where it ends. But there is no need to see the end. The river knows the way. Birds sometimes fly above, their wings silvered by starlight. Some tales say these are the souls of those already across, guiding with their flight. Others say they are messengers, reminding the traveler that nothing is lost, only transformed. Their calls are soft, fading into the hum of the current. Even the silence of the river is a kind of song, endless, lulling, tender. The ancients spoke of offerings at these banks, coins placed for the ferryman, prayers whispered for safe passage. But beneath these customs lay the same dream, that the soul would not be left wandering, that it would not be lost in the dark. The river was the answer, always moving, always guiding, always flowing to the place of peace. Now the current deepens. The boat drifts farther from the shore. The mist thickens, but the waters are calm. There is no fear in the unknown here, only gentleness, only surrender, like falling asleep, like drifting into dream. The soul allows the river to carry it. The Egyptians told of the solar bark, the boat of the sun gliding each night across cosmic waters. As the sun sank into dusk, it entered the underworld, sailing through shadow. Yet always it rose again. Always it reached the dawn. The river was not an end, but a promise that every setting carried within it the seed of rising. The Vedas sang of rivers that cleanse and renew, waters that are not endings, but beginnings. Each crossing was not final, but a turning, a return. To drift upon those sacred streams was to be prepared for new birth, for another chance at light. The river held no finality, only cycles, only return. So too did other people's dream. In every land, the river was present, sometimes as water, sometimes as light, sometimes as shadow, always as a path, always as a passage, always as a way home. The boat continues to move. The oar no longer dips. The current alone carries it. The stars above blur, as if the sky itself is traveling with you. The air is cool, wrapping you like a soft cloak. Your breath slows. Your heart softens. The river flows. Soon the far shore begins to appear. Not sudden, not sharp, but gradual. A glow rises within the mist, faint and welcoming. It is not a place of fear, but of stillness. It feels familiar though unseen, like a memory half remembered, like a dream you once knew. The boat glides closer. The current slows. As if bowing to the shore, the air holds silence, a silence full of presence. The soul prepares, but without weight, without worry. This is not an ending. This is arrival. The boat rests upon the bank. The water laps gently, as if whispering farewell. The stars above shine brighter now, reflected in the calm. The crossing has been made. The river has fulfilled its promise, but the river never ends. It flows on, beyond sight, carrying others, carrying all. Its song never stills. Its current never tires. It is eternal, patient, kind, always waiting, always carrying, always flowing toward peace. Now the boat is empty, yet it is not alone. The river holds it, as it holds everything. The mist drifts, the stars glow, the current moves, the soul has crossed, and the river flows on. Let us drift onward. Now, let the hush of waters remain with you. Let the current cradle your rest. The river of souls has carried us across. Now the stars return. Now the silence deepens. Now the night holds you, gentle and safe. The night stretches wide, quiet as a held breath. The earth beneath is endless sand, cool now beneath the touch of starlight. The air is dry, yet filled with silence that feels alive, as if the whole desert listens. Above, the heavens open like a great tapestry, woven with glittering lights. Each star is clear, sharp against the velvet dark, each one watching, each one waiting. This is the desert of stars. The ancient Egyptians dreamed of it, a vast expanse where the soul, newly freed from its earthly form, begins its journey. No walls surround it, no rivers hem it in, only sky above, only sand below, stretching without end. Yet it is not emptiness. It is guidance. It is a map written in light. The soul steps softly across the sands. Every grain seems to glow faintly, kissed by the reflection of the heavens. The dunes rise and fall like waves frozen in time. The wind moves gently, carrying whispers, carrying memory. There is no haste here, no urgency. The path reveals itself not through roads or markers, but through the stars that shine above. Look upward. See Orion, the mighty hunter. The Egyptians named him Sa, a great figure who walked the skies, a guardian of the departed. They saw him as Osiris, lord of the afterlife, whose presence welcomed the soul into eternity. Orion's belt gleams bright, 3 points in perfect line, a doorway in the heavens. The soul drifts toward that light, each step matching the rhythm of the stars. To the east, Sirius rises. They called it Sopdet, the star of the goddess who brought the flood, who gave new life to the Nile. Her brilliance is the brightest in the sky, a jewel of pure silver blue. For the Egyptians, Sirius was both a guide and a promise, that death was not the end, but a season turning, a rising after the setting. The soul gazes upon her glow and feels a calm certainty, a gentle pull forward. In this desert, the constellations are not distant. They lean low, close enough to feel. The stars breathe softly, like lanterns hung above a traveler's road. They do not command, but invite. Each one is a companion, a light that has shone for countless ages, for countless journeys. Every soul that passed through this desert found its own reflection in the stars. The sands shift underfoot, yet they are never harsh. They cradle each step, holding and releasing with ease. The silence here is not empty, but full of memory, full of ancient hymns that linger like faint incense. Sometimes the wind carries a sound, faint and melodic as though priests far away are chanting, sending blessings to guide the soul. The air is cool, yet the starlight warms, and the balance is gentle, perfect. Far in the distance, the outline of pyramids glimmers. They rise like mountains, but smoother, steadier, as if carved directly from the desert's dream. The Egyptians believed the pyramids were stairways, steps that led the spirit upward into the sky. From their very shape, the soul learns. There is a way forward. There is always ascent. Even if the body rests in stone, the spirit climbs higher, rising beyond, and so the journey continues. Each step is slow, each breath calm. The horizon does not move quickly, for there is no need. The soul is not measured by time here, but by peace. Night stretches forever, but it is never tiring. It soothes, it heals, it carries. In this desert, the stars are not only guides, they are also guardians. The Egyptians believed that the pharaohs became stars after death, shining as eternal lights in the sky. Every glimmer might be an ancestor, a protector, a presence watching over the journey. The soul feels no loneliness here, for the sky itself is alive with company. Each point of light is both far and near, both ancient and immediate. It is as if the whole sky bends low to walk beside the traveler. The constellations form stories. Osiris, ruler of the afterlife, waits in the stars of Orion. Isis, his devoted queen, shines in Sirius, guiding with her light. Their tale of love, of death and renewal, is written in the heavens. As the soul moves through the desert, these stories weave around it, reminding it that every ending is only a turning, every setting only a new rising. The sands glow faintly now, as if lit from within. Perhaps they remember the sun that once blazed upon them. Perhaps they are lit by the stars themselves. The soul feels light, unburdened, almost weightless. Walking becomes gliding, and gliding becomes floating. The desert is no longer ground, but sea, and the stars above are reflected below. It is as if the soul sails between two skies, one above, one beneath, endless and calm. At times, the desert seems to disappear. Only stars remain surrounding, embracing. The soul is not lost. It is found. It is one with the great pattern, one with the endless constellations that turn forever. It understands now why the Egyptians lifted their eyes upward. why they built their temples in alignment with the heavens. The stars are the map. The stars are the destination. The stars are eternity. The journey is not hurried. The soul may wander here as long as it wishes. The desert does not press forward. It simply holds, offers, waits. Every step is a blessing. Every glance upward a reminder. The body may be gone, the earth left behind, but the stars remain, unchanging, eternal. Bright they whisper, you are safe, you are guided, you are eternal too. In the great silence of the desert, the spirit rests, no hunger stirs, no thirst rises. The sands themselves give peace, the sky itself gives comfort. And as the journey continues, the soul drifts ever closer to Orion, ever nearer to Sirius, carried not by effort, but by light. The constellations glow brighter now, their lines seem clearer, their presence more near. The soul feels them not just above, but within. Every breath seems filled with starlight, every step echoed by the heavens. The desert is not vast anymore. It has become intimate, like a quiet chamber lit by endless candles. The sky is no longer distant. It is home. At last, the desert softens into stillness. The sands fade into mist. The stars gather close. There is no end here, only arrival. The soul has walked beneath the heavens, and now it is ready to rest within them. The desert of stars has guided, has cradled, has whispered. Its work is complete. The sky deepens. The constellations glow like guardians at the threshold. The spirit breathes, light as air. Peace settles, like cool night wrapping gently around. Let us drift onward now. Let the stars remain as companions, their quiet light never fading. Let the desert of silence carry you into rest. The constellations will keep watch, Orion standing tall, Sirius shining bright, and as the night deepens, you are safe, you are held. Now rest as the stars return. The night is calm, the air is still. A hush drapes itself over the world, like a long veil of twilight. In this quiet, the spirit begins to move. It drifts slowly, like a feather carried on the breath of the wind. The journey has already begun. The body rests behind, silent and unmoving. Ahead lies a path that leads not into darkness, but into mystery. The soul follows the trail step by step until at last it sees a gate. It rises before you, tall and silent, filled with a presence too deep for words. This is the threshold. This is the meeting place, and always, at such a gate, a keeper waits. In the ancient deserts of Egypt, the gate was guarded by one with the head of a jackal, Anubis, the gentle guide of souls. He was not fierce to the innocent, nor cruel to the weary. Instead, he carried a scale. Upon that scale, the heart of the soul was placed. On the other side lay the feather of truth, white and shining. The heart, they believed, held every deed, every whisper, every thought of a lifetime. If it was heavy with shadow, it sank low. If it was light with kindness, it rose to match the feather. In this balance, the soul's path was revealed. The ancient Egyptians imagined this moment not with fear, but with reverence. The gatekeeper was not there to punish, but to guide. The weighing of the heart was not a test to trick, but a mirror of truth. For the soul that had lived in harmony, the scale became a doorway, opening into golden fields, where peace stretched as far as the horizon. In faraway Japan, another gatekeeper was spoken of. Shinto traditions tell of the boundary between the world of the living and the world of spirits. At this boundary, guardians stand. They are protectors, guiding souls who wander, keeping balance between both realms. Sometimes they appear as tall figures of light, sometimes as humble, unseen guides, like a shadow moving quietly beside you. Their role is not judgment, but protection. To be at the gate is to be cared for, to be led gently where one belongs. Imagine walking toward such a gate now. Its frame glows softly. Like wood kissed by moonlight, you feel no fear, only calm. The guardians stand silent, their presence steady. Like pillars of stone, they do not block you, they do not rush you, they simply hold the space, watching over your step into what waits beyond. Across many lands, The image of the gatekeeper returns, sometimes fierce, sometimes kind, but always watchful, always present. The Greeks spoke of Hermes, the guide who walked souls down quiet paths to the underworld. The Persians spoke of holy beings who stood at the bridge, helping the righteous, steadying their steps. Even in Norse tales, shining figures helped the brave cross into the halls of their ancestors. Though their faces change, their purpose is the same. They welcome, they guard, they open the way. Now, imagine yourself standing before such a gate. The air around you is soft, carrying a stillness that feels endless. The threshold is not harsh or heavy. It shines faintly. Like starlight resting on stone, the keeper waits there, silent and patient. Their eyes see into you, but without judgment, without scorn. They see all that you are, as easily as one sees the reflection of the moon in water, and in their gaze, there is no anger, only truth, only clarity. The gatekeeper lifts a hand. The gesture is slow, like a tree bending in the wind. The gate begins to open. No sound escapes it, only a spreading light, soft and golden, spilling across your path. The light does not blind, it welcomes, it holds, it says, without words, you may pass. The ancients knew the gate was not meant to be feared. It was a reminder that every journey has a threshold. Every path has a turning point. Every soul, one day, must stand before a door with someone waiting to guide them through. In this, there is deep comfort. No spirit crosses alone. There is always a presence beside the traveler, a guide to weigh the heart, a guardian to steady the steps, a keeper to open the way. Close your eyes now, and picture yourself moving through the gate. Your spirit is lighter than air. Your steps are soft, like drifting leaves. The keeper watches, then fades gently into the quiet, their task complete. Beyond the gate, the path continues. The air is filled with peace. The stars above glow brighter, as if each one is a lantern lit by those who crossed before you. The horizon calls, but not in haste. It calls softly, like a lullaby, drawing you deeper into rest. The keeper of the gate is not only in old stories, it is also in the heart, in the moment of letting go, in the passage between waking and sleep. When you close your eyes, you step across a small threshold. When dreams arrive, you pass through a gentle gate. Always, something watches over you. Always. The way is safe. So let yourself rest now. Feel the threshold beneath your feet. Feel the calm presence that waits, patient and kind. The gate is open. The passage is clear. The journey is safe. Let the silence hold you. Let the stars guide you. Let the keeper's watchful eyes fade into the night. You have crossed. You are safe. Now rest. As the stars return, the night is quiet. The air is calm, as though the world itself has fallen into a deep breath. Above, the stars shimmer like grains of golden dust scattered across an endless sky. And below, the earth feels gentle, holding every step with care. In this stillness, the soul continues its journey. The gates have opened, the scales have balanced. The spirit, light as a feather, moves into a new horizon. Ahead lies a vision told by the ancient people of the Nile, a place of peace, where no hunger lingers and no sorrow follows. They called it Aru, the field of reeds. The field of reeds was the paradise of the Egyptians. It was not far away in the clouds, nor locked in unreachable heavens. It was a reflection of life on earth, but perfected, gentle, and everlasting. Imagine now, as your spirit drifts forward, that you arrive at its edge. The air is warm, yet soft as silk against your skin. Golden reeds sway in a quiet rhythm, their tips glowing as though touched by sunlight that never fades. The river flows nearby, slow and shining, carrying the song of eternity. Birds rise and settle among the reeds, their wings silver in the light. Fish move calmly in the water, flashing with soft colors, like jewels beneath the surface. The land stretches out endlessly, fertile and green. It is a vision of Egypt itself, but free of struggle. Here the harvest never fails. Here, the earth gives without end. In this land, the soul is reunited with ancestors, those who walked before, those whose voices linger in memory. Now wait with open arms. There is laughter in the distance, gentle and kind, like the laughter of a family at rest after a long day. The sound carries across the fields, soft as the wind through tall reeds. You feel their presence before you see them. Warmth fills the air. The sense of belonging deepens. Every step draws you closer until you find yourself among them, faces you knew and faces you only dreamed of, all gathered in welcome. There is no judgment here, no grief, only reunion. The Egyptians imagined that the blessed soul would work in the field of reeds. But work, in this place, was joy. The labor was light, and the harvest always abundant. Crops grew tall and golden, fields stretched wide, and the waters of the Nile branched through the land like silver veins. Here, the soul plucked fruit that never withered. Here, the hands sowed grain that grew in an instant. Ready for gathering, each act was effortless, a rhythm in harmony with the land itself. It was not toil, it was communion. The land gave, and the soul received, in an endless circle of peace. Imagine yourself moving through these fields now. Your feet touch soft earth, cool and steady. Your hands brush against reeds that glow with golden light. The air is filled with the scent of blossoms, sweet and subtle. Every breath feels like a blessing. The river bends and shines nearby, its current slow and eternal. You kneel at its edge, dipping your hand into the cool water. It runs clear as crystal, reflecting the stars above and the reeds that sway along its banks. As you lift your hand, the water falls like liquid light, leaving your skin refreshed, your spirit renewed. The field of reeds was not only a land of plenty, it was also a land of harmony. The gods themselves were present here, not in grandeur but in gentle forms. Osiris, lord of the afterlife, walked among the blessed, clothed in green and white, carrying the crook and flail of a shepherd. He was not distant, but near, watching with calm eyes, protecting with quiet strength. Other divine figures, too, wandered the fields. Isis, with her wings spread like a sheltering bird, offering comfort. Hathor, the golden goddess, whose presence was like the warmth of morning sun, and Horus, the falcon, circling high above, guarding the peace of the land. In this paradise, the soul did not bow in fear. It simply lived in balance with the gods, the land, and the ancestors. All was whole. All was safe. Now, in your mind's eye, see yourself resting beneath a tall palm tree in this eternal land. The shade is cool, the breeze gentle, the reeds whisper, their voices soft as lullabies. Nearby, your ancestors sit together, their faces peaceful, their eyes bright. They speak to you without words, letting you know you are welcome. You are home. The golden fields stretch forever, without end. There is no hunger here, no thirst, only fullness, only rest, only the rhythm of peace. The Egyptians believed that the soul carried into this land would live in joy forever. There was no fear of loss. There was no thought of death again. The field of reeds was eternity itself, unfolding like the river, flowing without end. Every sunrise was soft. Every evening was calm. The stars always shone, and the moon was always tender. Here, time no longer weighed on the soul. Here, time was simply an endless breath. As you drift deeper into this vision, let the field of reeds surround you. The golden reeds sway in the wind. The river hums a gentle song. The stars above glow brighter, as though they are watching with love. Your body grows light. Your heart grows calm. You feel as though you are already part of this sacred land, already resting in its embrace. The reeds whisper your name softly, carrying it into the air like a prayer. Now the night grows deeper. The voices of ancestors soften into silence. The river stills, calm as glass. The reeds bow gently, as though drifting into slumber. You, too, may rest now. The field of reeds will remain, golden and eternal, holding your spirit in peace. The gate is behind you, the journey complete. You are home, surrounded by light, by warmth, by endless calm. So let yourself drift onward into golden dreams. Let the reeds sway in your memory. Let the river hum in your breath. Night folds around the world. The air is hushed, and the stars gather like distant candles across a sky of velvet black. You drift at the edge of silence, where the land ends and the waters begin. The earth beneath your feet has grown cool, as though it is letting you go. The wind has softened, carrying only the faintest whisper. Ahead lies a river, wide and still, its surface dark as polished stone. This is no ordinary river. It is the river that divides the seen from the unseen, the living from the beyond. The Greeks once told of this place. They spoke of the ferryman who waited at the shore, a figure cloaked in shadow, with eyes deep as night. His name was Charon. He guided souls across the silent waters, carrying them from one world into the next. You step closer. The shore crumbles softly into the water, and reeds sway in the dim air. The river gives no sound, no ripple, only stillness, as though it holds its breath. Then, faintly, there is a glow, a small flame, swaying gently in the dark. It is the ferryman's lantern. The lantern swings from the boat's wooden beam, casting circles of pale light across the water. The glow does not banish the darkness. It only softens it, as though to say, the journey will not harm you. The way will be quiet. Charon waits in the boat, his hands steady on the oar. He does not speak. He does not need to. His silence is older than words, and it comforts more than any voice could. He tilts his lantern, letting its glow reach the shore, inviting you to step forward. The boat itself is simple, wood worn smooth by endless passage. Its planks carry the memory of countless souls who have sat where you now rest. The bench feels cool beneath you. The river stirs softly as the boat drifts free of the bank. The ferryman pushes the oar into the dark. Water. The sound is quiet, almost a whisper. A soft ripple spreads, then fades. You are moving now, gliding into the unseen. The lantern sways, its light dancing across the water. Each movement is slow, steady, without rush. The flame burns golden, a small star captured in glass. Its glow is a guide, marking the way so that the darkness feels less like an end and more like a vast embrace. Around you the river stretches wide. Its surface holds the reflection of the stars, shimmering with each ripple of the oar. Above, the sky is endless. Below, the river mirrors its infinity. It is as though you float between two heavens, one above, one beneath. The Greeks said there were many rivers in the underworld. The Styx, river of oaths. The Lethe, river of forgetting. The Acheron, river of sorrow. Each river held a meaning, a passage of its own. Tonight, you drift upon their memory. Yet there is no sorrow here, no fear, only stillness, only the rhythm of the oar, dipping and rising, like a heartbeat in the water. The ferryman rows, silent and calm. His lantern glows, steady and warm, and the river carries you onward, deeper into peace. The night around you grows softer. From the darkness, faint shapes appear. Islands of stone rise gently from the water. Their surfaces are covered in pale moss. Glimmering in the lantern's glow, small birds with quiet wings drift overhead, their calls low and soothing. The river, though vast, feels safe, like a cradle that carries you forward without effort. Each stroke of the oar feels slower now. The boat glides as though the water itself wants to carry you, wanting you to rest. The lantern sways in a slow rhythm, as if in time with your breath. You breathe in. The light glows brighter. You breathe out. The flame steadies, calm and still. In Greek tales, a coin was placed with the dead, an offering for the ferryman so that the journey could be made. But in this dreamlike passage, no coin is needed. The boat carries you freely, for this crossing belongs to all. The river accepts you without condition, without weight. You are light as mist. You are gentle as breath. The lantern flickers, and the water glimmers in response. The flame seems to speak, though no words are heard. It whispers in light, telling you that this crossing is not an ending. It is only a movement, from shore to shore, a passage, quiet and eternal. You glance into the water. It is dark, but not empty. Beneath the surface, shadows drift like memories. Faces appear, soft and familiar, like ripples of time. They do not frighten. They only remind you that the river holds every story, Every voice, every song ever spoken, the water is memory itself, flowing endlessly through the night. The lantern reflects in the river, its golden glow stretching out like a path. It is as though the flame lays down a road of light across the water, guiding the boat onward, keeping it steady. The ferryman's hands are strong, yet unhurried. His movements never falter. He is patient, as though eternity is his only measure of time. You realize that the journey is not about speed, nor destination. It is about stillness. It is about letting go. The air grows softer. You hear the oar dip, and the water sigh. You hear the lantern creak gently as it swings. You hear the silence, deep and endless, surrounding you like a blanket. Somewhere in the distance, the far shore begins to appear. Not sharp, not sudden, only a faint line of light, low against the horizon. It glows like dawn rising beyond the water. The reeds of the shore wave softly in the distance, their tips touched with pale silver. The boat glides closer, each moment slow and gentle. The lantern continues to swing, its glow never fading. The ferryman says nothing. His silence is a gift. It lets you hear the river. It lets you hear your breath. It lets you feel the peace that surrounds you. Layer by layer, the boat nears the bank. The oar rises, dripping with liquid light. The river sighs as the wood touches shore. The lantern glows brighter for a moment, as though to welcome you. Its golden flame shimmers across the reeds, across the stones, across your waiting path. You step onto the earth again. It feels cool, steady, alive beneath your feet. The ferryman does not follow. He remains in his boat, the lantern swinging, the oar resting in his hand. Yet you feel no parting, no loss. His lantern will always glow. The river will always carry. The crossing will always remain. The flame sways one last time. The boat drifts back into the darkness, oar dipping softly once more. The light fades into distance, yet its memory remains with you, warm and steady. The lantern has guided you, and it will guide countless others, forever and forever. The night is deep. The stars shimmer above. The river behind you rests, still and eternal, and ahead lies calm ground, a place of quiet and peace. Now let yourself drift onward. Let the lantern's glow stay in your heart. Let the river's silence soften your breath. Now rest. As the stars return, the night deepens. The stars grow faint behind a veil of cloud, and the earth lies quiet as though listening. You drift downward into stillness, where voices fade and time becomes soft as dust. There is a doorway here. It is not carved of stone, nor marked with signs. It is felt rather than seen, an opening into silence. As you cross its threshold, the air cools. The world above becomes distant, like an echo that slowly falls away. The ancient peoples of Sumer and Babylon spoke of such a place. They called it the land beneath, where all souls journeyed after life had ended. Not a realm of fire, nor of reward, but a hushed expanse where shadows gathered. They named it the House of Dust. They called it the Great Below. You walk slowly across the first chamber. The ground is soft with ash, a carpet of time that muffles each step. Above, the ceiling arches like a cavern sky, dim and heavy. No sunlight shines here. Instead, a pale glow lingers in the air, as though memory itself has become light. The silence is deep, but not empty. It carries the weight of countless footsteps before you, each one leaving behind a trace. You sense them near, souls who once lived beneath the same sun, who once sang songs beside rivers, who once touched the earth with hands now at rest. Their shadows drift like smoke, gentle and calm. The Mesopotamians believed that this was the fate of all. Kings and farmers, priests and shepherds all entered alike. Here, every soul shed the noise of life and became quiet. Here, the grand and the humble shared the same halls, bound not by status, but by the stillness of eternity. You wander deeper. The halls stretch onward, each chamber opening into another. The walls are carved with faint markings, ancient symbols worn by age. You cannot read them, yet you feel their meaning. They are stories of lives once lived. They are prayers offered to the gods. They are whispers of devotion and longing, preserved in dust. The goddess Ereshkigal rules here. She is the lady of the great below. She watches with solemn eyes, her throne set among the deepest halls. Yet there is no fear in her presence, only the stillness of one who holds all endings gently in her hands. Once, the old stories tell, even the great goddess Inanna descended to this place. She left behind her crown, her jewels, her garments of power, one by one at each of the 7 gates, until she stood naked before Ereshkigal. For here, in the land of shadows, all things are laid down, all titles, all burdens, all names. Nothing is carried except the soul itself. You move as Inanna once moved, passing through unseen gates. At each step, something falls away, a weight, a worry, a memory that no longer needs to hold you. You feel lighter, softer, more at peace. The halls welcome you as you are, unadorned, unburdened. The air is cool, carrying the faint scent of earth after rain. You hear the slow drip of water echoing in the distance. It sounds like a heartbeat in the stone, steady and eternal. The souls here are quiet, they do not speak, yet you sense their nearness. They drift like soft smoke along the halls, gathering in corners, resting upon the steps. Each carries the shadow of their life, yet without pain. Their forms are delicate, as though made of twilight. In the old belief, these souls ate dust, drank from shallow cups, and moved in silence. To the living, this may have seemed sorrowful, but here, within the dream, it feels calm. Dust is soft, settling gently upon the ground, covering all things with equal grace. The silence is not empty, it is peaceful. Like a great rest after long labor, you walk deeper still, and the halls widen into a vast chamber. It is like a city of shadows. Pillars rise from the floor, worn and silent, holding the weight of endless time. Between them, the souls drift, gathered in small clusters, as though recalling faint echoes of the lives they once knew. Some sit upon the dust as though around a hearth. Some lean against the stone as though resting. After a long journey, their peace fills the space like a low and endless song. The ceiling of the chamber is veiled in dim light. Shadows of wings pass. Overhead, they are not threatening, only gentle. In Sumerian thought, the souls were often called bird-like, their forms light and fleeting. You see them now, wings of shadow and light, fluttering softly above the dust. Far in the distance, a river glimmers faintly. Its waters are dark, reflecting no sky. It does not rush. It flows with the patience of centuries. The souls drink from it slowly, their shadows bending toward its edge. Its taste is quiet, grounding them in this place of rest. Beside the river, reeds grow pale and silver, their tips bending in a breeze you cannot feel. The sound they make is soft, a hushed rustling, like countless voices whispering together. It is not sorrow, nor longing. It is memory, carried gently by the air. You continue your path, guided by the faint glow that lingers in the halls. It is not torchlight, not flame, but the shimmer of memory itself. Every stone seems to hold a story. Every corner seems to cradle the essence of what once was. Time here is endless. There is no sun, no moon, no measure of hours. Yet you do not feel lost. You feel carried, as though each step is part of a rhythm older than the earth. The Mesopotamians spoke of this realm not as punishment, nor reward, but simply as the natural resting place of all. And as you walk among its halls, you feel the truth of that calm. Here, every soul finds stillness. Here, every voice becomes part of the silence. Here, every breath returns to the dust, and the dust becomes gentle earth once more. At last, you approach a final chamber. It is vast, but simple. The floor is smooth, the air heavy with stillness, and at the far end sits a throne of stone. Upon it rests Ereshkigal, the lady of the great below. Her face is solemn, yet serene. Her eyes hold the depth of countless ages. She does not speak, for words are no longer needed. Her silence is the silence of the earth itself. It welcomes you. It enfolds you. It assures you that here, all things are safe. The souls gather near her throne, quiet as drifting mist. Their presence is not fearful but tender, like a family resting together in shadow. They bow not out of dread, but out of reverence for the stillness she keeps. You linger for a moment, and the chamber breathes around you. You feel the dust beneath your feet, soft as a blanket. You feel the cool air against your skin, calm and steady. You feel the quiet song of shadows, cradling you in rest. Then, slowly, you turn back toward the halls. Your steps are lighter now, as though you carry no burden at all. The dust rises gently with each step, like a sigh, like a prayer. You pass again through unseen gates, and with each gate, you carry a deeper calm. The silence of the underworld has entered you. It rests within your breath. It rests within your heart. Now you stand once more at the threshold. Behind you, the halls stretch into endless shadow. Before you, the faint shimmer of stars returns, like lanterns in the night. The silence of the great below lingers with you, soft and steady. It is not heavy. It is not sorrow. It is peace, deep as the earth, timeless as the dust, and so you drift onward. The halls fade behind you. The stars return above you, and the night itself becomes your resting place. Now close your eyes to the quiet. Let the dust of ages settle gently around you, and rest. As the silence carries you into dreams, the night opens like a quiet curtain, heavy with stars, soft with distant winds. The world feels hushed, as though even the air waits in reverence. A calm river of starlight stretches across the sky, and beneath it lies a path, ancient and shimmering. You stand before it, held in stillness, where silence speaks louder than sound. This is the place where bridges appear, bridges not of wood, not of stone, but of light, of fire, of air itself, bridges that the soul must cross. Norse voices tell of a bridge that glows in colors like dawn, a rainbow lifted high. Persian whispers tell of a bridge as thin as a hair, as sharp as a blade, stretched across endless dark. Both are ways of passage, both are paths the spirit must take. The stars lean closer, as though to witness. The wind slows, carrying with it the fragrance of smoke, of sweet herbs, of forgotten prayers. You take a step, and the ground beneath your feet fades. In its place is light, soft, luminous, steady like a lantern flame. The bridge has appeared. It glimmers first as Bifrost, the bridge of the Norse, a rainbow path spun from fire and mist, arched across the deep space between realms. Its colors are alive, flowing and pulsing like breath itself. Each step upon it feels like walking across water made solid by trust. Far below, a vast void murmurs, not with threat, but with distance. The bridge does not tremble. It holds you, glowing beneath your steps, leading toward a golden horizon where halls of the divine wait. The Norse told of Heimdall, guardian of this shimmering ark. They said his hearing was sharp enough to catch the sound of wool growing on sheep. His sight reached farther than the edge of dawn, and though he stands, tall and watchful, here he feels less like a guard, more like a guide. His horn rests at his side, silent. For now is not a time of endings. It is only a time of crossing. You step forward, and the rainbow softens. Its glow dissolves into mist. The colors fold into silver, narrowing, sharpening, until the bridge becomes thin, almost too thin. Now the Persian path awakens, the Chinvat Bridge. It stretches across the dark, a thread of steel glowing faintly, suspended between earth and eternity. It is said to be wide and welcoming to the righteous. It is said to grow sharp and narrow for those who carry burdens heavy with unkindness. Here it shines before you, calm, waiting to reveal what you are. A wind moves beneath the bridge, vast and endless. It is not a wind that chills. It is a breath of the universe itself. The air holds echoes of prayers spoken long ago, in temples lit by oil lamps, in homes warmed by fire. The voices of the faithful linger like gentle bird song, reminding the soul that it does not walk alone. As you step, the bridge steadies, strong beneath you. It widens to hold your pace, soft with silver light. The path is clear. It carries you over the abyss like a cradle. Below lies not fear, but silence. Above, the stars watch with quiet blessing. At the center of the crossing, the two bridges seem to meet. Rainbow mist touches silver steel, light and blade entwine, as though one path has always been part of the other. You stand there, midway between color and shadow, and feel the presence of hands unseen. They steady you. They do not push, nor pull. They only remind you that you are not lost. For in Norse thought, beyond the bridge lay Asgard, shining hall of gods, and in Persian thought, beyond the bridge lay paradise, the house of song, filled with gardens and flowing water. Both spoke of light. Both spoke of a home where the spirit might rest, released from the dust of sorrow. The bridges, though shaped different, lead to the same quiet promise that beyond the crossing, peace waits, the air grows softer. The bridge beneath you shifts once more. It becomes wide as a meadow path, glowing with starlight, safe and clear. Its edges are lined with flowers of light, swaying as though touched by unseen hands. Each blossom seems to carry a memory. Faces of those once known, voices once heard. They glow gently, not to hold you back, but to guide you forward. The bridge itself hums, like a song just beyond hearing. You move slowly. The world around you feels like twilight, endless and kind. The rainbow fades into silver. The silver fades into white, and white fades into warmth, as though dawn has risen within the bridge itself. It is no longer a path of trial, nor a test of fear. It is only a gentle road, carrying you onward. The voices of the myths, Norse and Persian, fall like distant echoes into the stream of night. What remains is their heart, that the soul is always carried across, that no bridge, however thin, however sharp, ever leaves the spirit abandoned. There are always hands, always light, always a way forward. The far side draws near. It does not rise like a great city, nor blaze like a fierce flame. It unfolds like a horizon of rest. Fields lie beyond, touched with gold. Waters glimmer with moonlight. Shadows grow soft until they are only shade, sheltering peace. And there on the far shore voices murmur, familiar and kind. The ancestors wait, patient as the stars. The bridge beneath you does not vanish. It remains, glowing, eternal for others yet to cross. But for you, this journey feels complete. The passage has been made. The air holds you gently, like night holding the moon. Now let the bridges fade behind you. Let their colors sink into mist, their silver into silence. The starlit void closes softly, and the ground steadies beneath your feet. You are no longer on a path of trial, but resting in a meadow of dreams. Here, no sharp edge, no narrow thread, no trembling distance, only the wide embrace of peace. The rainbow light dissolves into the stars. The silver bridge melts into the sky. And the night carries you, slowly, deeper into its quiet heart. Let us drift onward. Let the bridges remain, waiting for all who will one day walk them. For now, rest as the stars return. The oars of silence row you into sleep, steady, calm, eternal. The night spreads wide, calm as a still lake beneath starlight. The air is hushed, carrying the faint fragrance of figs, warm bread, and honeyed wine. Somewhere in the distance, a soft drumbeat sounds, slow and steady, like the rhythm of a resting heart. You drift gently toward the sound. As though carried by the night itself, the dream opens before you, and a great hall rises in the silence. Its doors stand wide, glowing with lanterns of gold. Beyond them, voices murmur like flowing water, gentle laughter woven with warmth. The floor is smooth as polished stone, and long tables stretch out beneath high beams carved with ancient signs. Candles flicker on every surface, casting soft shadows that dance like slow waves. It is a hall of welcome. It is a place of reunion. The Norse once spoke of such a hall. They called it Valhalla, where warriors feasted after their last battles. There, the tables were endless, and the food never waned. Meat roasted on the fire each morning, only to return whole each night. Cups brimmed with mead drawn from the udder of a golden goat, sweet as spring blossoms never empty. The sound of laughter filled the air, echoing louder than drums. It was not the hunger of the body that was fed. It was the hunger of the spirit, for belonging, for joy, for endless togetherness. As you drift into this place, you feel no weight of battle, no echo of struggle. The hall welcomes all, the tired and the gentle, the dreamers and the lost. Here, every seat is offered, Here, every voice is heard. Beyond the Norse halls, other visions glow. The ancient peoples of the Semitic lands spoke of feasts after death, tables laid with fruit and bread, wine poured from shining vessels. The reunion of families beneath a tent of stars, where the desert wind could not touch them, where the sand no longer burned, where peace was not a passing gift, but an eternal state. You see it now, a banquet beneath a canopy of light, clay jars brimming with water so clear it reflects the heavens, dates laid in bowls, soft and sweet, like jewels of the earth, flatbread warm from unseen ovens, its scent mingling with the firelight. The feast is not one of kings alone, nor warriors alone. It is for all who come weary, for all who seek rest. And in this vision, laughter rings again. It is soft, not raucous. It is the laughter of friends rediscovering one another after long partings. It is the sound of children at play, the echo of voices that once filled the air of life but had been silent for too long. Every table you pass is glowing with abundance. Bowls overflow, yet nothing spoils. Cups are filled, yet never emptied. There is no grasping here, no fear of lack. All who sit find exactly what they need. Some taste sweetness, some taste warmth, some taste memory itself. The food of the feast changes, becoming what the heart longs for most. A woman eats bread and remembers her mother's hand, pressing dough in the quiet of morning. A man sips wine and feels his father's laughter, the sound carried like smoke through a home long gone. A child tastes fruit and finds joy as though the world were new again. Every bite is a thread, weaving memory into eternity. You drift further, and the hall expands into fields. Long tables stretch across meadows of golden grass. The stars above shine like lanterns, and the moon bends low, blessing the gathering. Birds with wings of silver rest upon branches, their songs gentle, blending with the laughter below. Here, no one is a stranger. Here, every soul is known. Ancient Zoroastrians told of such reunion. They dreamed of a final banquet at the end of all time. There, the world itself would be renewed, the earth healed, the rivers pure, the sky cleansed of shadow. At that feast, the righteous and the kind would gather as one, sharing food prepared by the divine flame. It was not only a meal, it was the renewal of creation, the taste of eternity itself. And so, as you listen, you feel it too, that this feast is more than a table. It is more than bread and wine. It is the binding of the soul to joy, the weaving of every memory into light. The tables fade again, shifting. Now you are in a smaller room, low-lit, quiet. The table here is simple, made of wood, its surface worn smooth by many hands. At its center, a bowl of grain rests beside a jar of oil. The scent of herbs drifts upward. The room is filled not with grandeur but with closeness. This, too, is a heavenly feast. For not all promises spoke of endless halls or shining banquets. Some spoke of shared meals, intimate and tender, of sitting once more with those you loved, of breaking bread without worry, without the shadow of time. Here, the feast is not abundance in number, it is abundance in meaning. Every glance is precious, every word eternal, every shared silence holy. You return now to the great hall. It stretches wide once more, its roof high, its tables glowing, and everywhere light moves as though alive. Lanterns sway, though there is no wind. Flames burn, though they do not consume. The air is thick with peace. Here, the hunger that lingers in the world is forgotten. Here, no one is empty. You see ancestors at the tables. They are not distant, not shadowed. They glow with recognition. Their eyes are warm, their voices like familiar songs. They do not fade as dreams often do. They remain, steady, as though the feast itself holds them close. And as you look, you feel the truth of this vision, that the heavenly feast is not only about food, nor drink. It is about reunion. It is about the soul's deepest hunger, to belong, to be remembered, to be embraced. The hall begins to grow quiet. The laughter softens into murmurs, like waves rolling back into the sea. The candles burn lower, their flames small and steady. The tables remain full. though hands rest gently at their sides. The feast has no end, but for now, it rests. The air is calm. The heart is calm. The stars lean closer, as though to watch over those gathered here. Let the hall remain glowing behind you. Let the scent of bread and fruit linger in the air. Let the memory of laughter carry you onward. Now rest as the stars return. Now drift as the feast fades into dream. The tables remain waiting. The voices remain warm. The light remains eternal, and you, carried by night, may close your eyes and breathe into peace. Let us drift onward, for the feast is always here, always near, always waiting. The night is deep and still. The stars rest high above. Silver dust spread across the velvet sky. A soft wind moves, carrying with it the fragrance of unseen blossoms. Somewhere a bell rings slowly, each tone falling like a drop of water into silence. You drift closer to the sound, drawn as though by memory. The dream unfolds, and a great circle appears before you. It turns gently, without hurry, without end. It glows like polished bronze, like sunlight on a river, like the quiet eye of eternity. This is the wheel of return. It has no beginning, no final edge. It turns forever, carrying every soul, every breath, every story. In the teachings of the East, this turning was called samsara, a cycle of birth and death, of departure and return. Not a trap, but a rhythm. Not a punishment, but a great unfolding. Like the seasons, endlessly circling. Like the tides, forever retreating and rising. Each life a wave upon the vast ocean of being. You drift closer still. The wheel does not turn quickly. It moves like the breath of the universe itself. Slow, steady, endless. Upon it are carved images. Flowers blooming and fading. Rivers swelling and sinking. Suns rising and setting. Each mark upon the wheel whispers of change, of passage, of gentle return. A soul approaches the wheel. It is not hurried. It carries no weight, no burden. It shines softly, like a flame behind thin silk. It pauses, resting beside the turning rim. Here, the soul is given a moment to breathe, to rest in the stillness between lives. This pause is not empty. It is filled with silence like a warm blanket. It is filled with memory, as though dreams gather and arrange themselves in order. The soul looks upon its journey, seeing the joys, the sorrows, the lessons left, like footprints in sand. Then, with a breath that is not breath, it steps again onto the turning wheel. Hindus spoke of this return with reverence. To live, to die, to be born once more, guided by karma, the threads of action, thought, and choice. Each step weaving the fabric of the next, each life a chapter in a story without end. Buddhists, too, spoke of this turning. They told of 6 realms where spirits might wander, realms of gods and humans, animals and spirits, each reflecting the mind's own ripples. Yet all were part of the same circle, the same gentle spinning of existence, and through it all, compassion was the lantern that could guide the way. The wheel before you glows brighter. You see within it not only the paths of others, but hints of your own. Moments like lanterns hanging in the dark, a voice that once comforted you, a river you once crossed, a dawn that once warmed your face. All of it is there, waiting, circling, never lost. The wheel turns, and from its heart rises the sound of chanting. It is low, like bees in a summer field. It is steady, like monks walking barefoot through a temple court. It is soothing, each tone blending with the next, as though the wheel itself sings. Imagine now the soul stepping forward. It is drawn into the circle as into a cradle. The wheel carries it, rocking gently like a mother rocking her child. Through the wheel it drifts, toward birth, toward new breath, toward new morning light. But it is not hurried. There is no rushing here, for the cycle is infinite. And the soul has forever. The turning is like a river. It bends. It flows. It carries. The soul rests within it, knowing it will be set gently upon new shores when the time is right. In ancient stories, some spoke of liberation beyond the wheel, a release, a rising above, into a place of stillness beyond. birth and death. Yet even this vision was not one of fear. It was the peace. It was the quiet at the heart of all, turning, the stillness at the center of the circle. You glimpse that center. Now, it does not move. It is the eye of the wheel, calm and shining. While the rim spins endlessly, the center remains steady, eternal. It is the stillness that holds all change. The soul rests here for a while. It drinks from streams that flow with memory. It breathes air filled with the scent of lotus flowers, unfolding slowly, petal by petal. It hears birds singing notes that echo like prayers carried on the wind. This resting place is gentle. It is a place between the stories of life, like the pause between two heartbeats, and then the soul stirs. It feels the call of the turning once again. Not a command, but an invitation to return, to learn, to love, to try again. The wheel glows brighter. You see rivers bending across its rim, mountains rising and falling, stars igniting and fading. Each part of the universe has its place upon this turning. The smallest ant, the largest star, the quietest sigh, all return, all belong. The wheel hums. It is not a sound of effort, but of harmony. A song without beginning or end. A song that whispers, all returns, all continues, all belongs. You drift back now, away from the wheel's glowing edge. Its turning continues, steady, endless. It does not fade when you look away. It remains, carrying souls onward, carrying stories across the vast sea of time. The air around you is calm. The bell tolls once more, soft, slow, fading into silence. The stars remain, patient and steady, as though they too watch the turning of the wheel. Let yourself rest now, as the soul rests upon its journey. Let yourself breathe in the stillness at the center of the circle. For the wheel turns gently, always, carrying you where you are meant to be. Now drift, as the stars return. Now rest as the wheel carries onward. All turns, all flows, all belongs. Let us drift onward, into the endless turning of peace. The night settles deeper. The stars lean closer, scattered like bright seeds across the velvet dark. A soft wind carries the scent of wood smoke, gentle and sweet. As though a fire burns far away, its glow flickers against the horizon of your dream. You drift toward it, step by step, until the world opens like a quiet clearing. There, a circle of stones rests upon the earth. Within the circle, flames rise and fall in steady rhythm. The fire hums softly, its sparks lifting upward, like prayers offered to the sky. Around the circle sit shapes both near and far, faces that glow not with flesh, but with memory. They are the ancestors, waiting in stillness, waiting in warmth. In many old traditions of Africa, of the Americas, of islands and deserts, the soul was never thought to vanish. It was not cast away into silence. It returned. It came back to the family circle, to the fire, to the voices that carried names and songs across generations. The ancestors lived close, in the soil, in the rivers, in the air between each breath. They were not gone. They were present, just beyond the thin veil of the living world. You feel their nearness now. Each flame in the fire seems to carry a voice, low and steady, singing in tones older than memory. The ground beneath you feels soft, as if made from layers of footsteps, thousands of journeys pressing gently into the same path. The air is tender, filled with presence. You are not alone here. You are held. The fire grows brighter, and from the smoke, images form. They rise like mist, shaping themselves into scenes of long ago. There is a grandmother weaving under the shade of a great tree. There is a hunter walking silently across the plain, his steps in rhythm with the earth. There is a child laughing, splashing in a river that glitters like crystal under the sun. All of these moments are carried forward, never lost. They live in the circle of ancestors. In many teachings, the ancestors were not far away in some unreachable place. They lived within the heartbeat of the land. Their breath stirred in the wind. Their footsteps echoed in the thunder. Their whispers moved in the streams. When the living called their names, The ancestors were near, listening, answering in signs and dreams. The flames bend low, and the voices soften. One ancestor steps forward from the circle. Her presence is like shade beneath a tree at noon, calm, protective and kind. Her hands are lifted, palms open, holding nothing but light. She does not speak with words. Instead, her silence carries warmth. It is as though she says, "You are not alone. You are never forgotten." You breathe gently, and her presence surrounds you. The firelight seems to settle into your bones, carrying peace, carrying rest. The embrace of ancestors is not heavy. It is soft. It is like a blanket of voices, each one layered upon the other, weaving a fabric of belonging. African traditions often spoke of the living dead, not as shadows of sorrow, but as companions who remained close, guiding, watching, blessing. When their names were spoken, they walked among the living. When offerings were placed, a bowl of grain, a sip of water, a song whispered into the night. The ancestors received it with joy. The bond between living and departed was never broken. It was a circle, endless, unbroken, like the wheel of the seasons. Among the peoples of the Americas, too, the ancestors were near. The fire was the meeting place, where families gathered not only with those present, but with those unseen. Every drumbeat called them closer. Every dance stirred their memory awake. In the smoke of sage, in the drift of cedar, in the rising song of flutes, they arrived, tender and watchful. You sit in the circle now, the fire warms your skin, though the night is cool. The ancestors sit beside you, some close, some far, their faces shifting like patterns of cloud. Some you know, some you do not. But all belong to you, as you belong to them. The ground beneath is rich with memory. Each grain of earth carries a name, each stone carries a story, and the fire carries them all upward, into the stars. The sparks rise like birds, each carrying a prayer into the sky. A voice stirs from the circle. It is deep, slow, like the beating of a drum. It tells of the chain of life, each link bound to the next. You are not only yourself, it says, you are the dream of those who came before. You are their song carried forward, their seed taking root, their journey unfolding again through your steps. This thought does not weigh you down. It soothes. It reminds you that you are part of something vast, gentle and endless. You are the fruit of an old tree, nourished by its roots, reaching toward its light. And someday, you too will join the circle, resting by the fire, blessing those who come after. The flames sway. You see water flowing beyond the fire. It is a river, wide and calm, shimmering with silver light. In many teachings, the river was the passage, the bridge between the living and the ancestors. When a soul left the body, it stepped into the river's arms, carried across by waves as soft as song. There was no fear in this passage. The river was gentle. It delivered every soul safely to the circle on the other side. You hear the water now. It moves slowly, like silk being drawn across stone. The ancestors turn their gaze toward it, their eyes calm and glowing. The fire, the river, the circle, each is part of the same embrace. You close your eyes in this dream, and the voices of the ancestors become clearer. They do not speak in one tongue. They speak in the rhythm of your own heartbeat. Each beat says, you belong. You are loved. You are never lost. The wind stirs. It brushes your skin like a hand smoothing your brow. The fire hums low, as though singing you to rest. And all around, the ancestors breathe with you, their breath woven into yours. The night deepens. The stars seem to draw closer, circling above the fire, reflecting the sparks that rise from the flames. It feels as if the sky itself is part of this great family, each star an ancestor's eye, watching with tenderness. Some stars blink, fading and returning. Some shine steady, like guardians who never close their eyes. All of them form constellations, shapes that tell stories older than memory. These stories drift through you. They are not heavy. They are light, like mist across still water. They soothe the mind, carrying you deeper into rest. For the ancestors do not call you to labor. They call you to peace. The fire sinks lower now. Its glow is steady, not fading, only calming. The circle remains. The ancestors remain. Their presence gentle, endless. Their embrace is not a single moment. It is eternal. It surrounds you in life. It will surround you in death. It surrounds you even now. As you drift into sleep, let yourself rest in this circle. Let the fire's glow ease your breath. Let the voices of the ancestors cradle you, for you are never alone. You are always part of the embrace. The stars shimmer softly overhead. The river whispers its lullaby. The fire hums low. The ancestors smile. Now rest as the night carries you. Now drift as the circle holds you. Now sleep as the ancestors sing you home. Let us drift onward, into the embrace of memory, into the embrace of peace. The night sea opens wide before you. The air is cool, and the salt wind drifts across your face like a soft veil. Above, the stars gleam in steady silence, their light resting gently upon the rolling waters. A small boat waits for you, rocking lightly against the shore. Its wood is smooth, its sail folded like a wing at rest. You step aboard, and the vessel drifts forward as if guided by unseen hands. The waves do not roar, they sigh. They carry you calmly, rocking you into deeper stillness. Each ripple seems to whisper a secret, a story, a song. The horizon stretches open, where sea and sky blur into a single band of silver. And somewhere beyond that horizon lies the promise of hidden isles. In old Celtic stories, there were whispers of a land beyond the western sea, a place called by many names, Avalon, Tir na Nog, the Blessed Isles. It was said to shine in eternal twilight, where no sorrow could touch the soul. Fruit trees bent heavy with sweetness. Rivers sang softly as they wound through green valleys, and those who reached it walked forever in peace, free from time. The Polynesian people, too, dreamed of islands unseen. They spoke of lands where the ancestors lived, where the spirit sailed after leaving the body. The voyage was across calm seas, guided by stars that shone like stepping stones through the dark. When the canoe reached those shores, the soul found rest beneath palms swaying gently in warm breezes. The ocean was not an end, but a bridge. The isles beyond were waiting. Your boat glides forward, steady as a heartbeat. The waters gleam in shades of silver and blue. Far ahead, the edge of the sky seems to glow as though another world is rising from the mist. You breathe slowly, and the rhythm of the sea matches the rhythm of your breath. In out. A tide flowing through you. The air is filled with the scent of blossoms, though no land is yet in sight. It is as if the isles are already reaching toward you, calling you closer with their fragrance. The boat answers, moving without effort, as though it knows the way by memory. The Celts spoke of Avalon as an isle of apples, golden and endless. They said the air itself was healing. Warriors who laid down their swords were carried there to rest, to be mended, to be cradled by the gentle hand of eternity. In its orchards, no leaf withered, no fruit spoiled, every branch bent low with plenty. Every path led into a garden of ease, and in Tir na Nog, the land of eternal youth, time itself was softened. No one grew old, no one grew weary. Laughter echoed across fields of green, and music drifted always in the air. It was not a place far away. It was a place just beyond the horizon, hidden by mist, waiting for those who knew the way. The Polynesian stories spoke of journeys guided by stars. For the ocean was not empty. It was a vast map, drawn in constellations above and waves below. Navigators felt the pull of islands even before they saw them, reading the sea like a book, listening to the language of tides and winds. The soul, too, was a voyager. When life ended, the spirit stepped into a canoe of light, sails filled with invisible wind. The ancestors guided it, their voices carried in the surf, their songs hidden in the cry of seabirds, and the canoe drifted into harbors unseen by the living eye. There, the spirit was welcomed. There, it was embraced by family, by ancestors, by the earth and sky themselves. The isles beyond were not places of trial. They were places of arrival, homecomings without end. Your boat rocks gently, the waves quieter now. Ahead, a glow rises through the mist. It is soft, golden like the first light of dawn. Slowly, the outline of trees takes shape, their branches bending under the weight of fruit. The air is warm, touched by the scent of flowers and the sweetness of orchards. The hidden isles are near. The shoreline comes into view. Smooth sand curves like a crescent moon, shining under the starlight. Palm fronds sway in a rhythm older than time. From the hills beyond, you hear the faint echo of voices. Not loud, not demanding. They are laughing, singing, welcoming. The island calls you ashore. You step from the boat, and the sand is cool beneath your feet. The breeze carries songs of both sea and land, a harmony that settles in your chest like a lullaby. You walk slowly toward the orchards, where trees bend low with fruit that glows softly in the twilight. Apples, bananas, coconuts, berries, each shining with an inner light. The branches seem to lean toward you, offering gifts without asking anything in return. A river winds through the grove, its waters clear, its song steady. You kneel beside it, and the reflection you see is calm, not hurried, not troubled. It is the reflection of a soul at rest. The river moves on, carrying its music toward the sea, reminding you that all things are connected: the ocean, the stars, the islands, the spirit. The Celts believed that Avalon was not only a place, but a threshold. It was where souls healed before moving onward. It was where kings and queens rested before their final journeys. Its orchards were not only sweet, they were sacred, symbols of renewal, symbols of eternal life. The Polynesian islands beyond were also thresholds, places where the spirit joined the ancestors. The isles were full of laughter, of family gathered once more, of warmth never ending. The voyage there was not feared, but trusted. For the stars always knew the way, and the sea always carried the soul where it was meant to go. You sit beneath a tree now, its branches arching like a shelter above you. Fruit glows softly at your side. The ground is smooth, covered in moss, cool against your hands. The twilight never fades here. The sky is always painted in soft gold and violet. Birds fly overhead, their wings slow, their cries peaceful. Everything around you whispers, "You have arrived." You are safe. The air hums with music. It is not played by hands, but by the island itself. The leaves sing when the breeze passes. The water sings when it flows. The stars sing when they shine. And together, they weave a lullaby that carries you deeper into calm. Night folds itself around the isle. The mist drifts low across the sand. The orchards glow, steady and endless. The sea laps gently against the shore, never rushing, never pulling away. It is as if the whole island breathes with you, each wave a slow inhale, each breeze a slow exhale. Here, there is no end. Here, there is only rest. The hidden isles cradle you, holding you in their eternal twilight. They ask nothing of you but stillness. They offer nothing but peace. The stars above shimmer brighter now. They no longer mark distance or direction. They mark belonging. Each star a sign that the voyage is complete. Each star a light of welcome. Shining upon the isle, you close your eyes, and the sound of the sea rocks you. You feel the island beneath you, strong and gentle. You breathe, and the orchards breathe with you. You rest, and the ancestors rest beside you. Now drift onward, deeper into twilight. Now rest as the sea carries your dreams. Now sleep in the embrace of the hidden isles. The night is quiet. The stars shine with a pale silver glow, spread across the sky like scattered grains of salt. A soft wind moves through the branches of a lonely tree, and the air carries a silence that feels timeless. Here, in the calm between one breath and another, the story begins. In ancient lands of Persia, beneath mountains kissed by dawn and deserts wide as eternity, there lived a belief. It was whispered in temples lit by oil lamps, spoken in quiet prayer by shepherds beneath the night sky, and told in sacred fires that never dimmed. The belief was this: when the soul leaves the body, it does not vanish. It journeys. It travels toward the great bridge, the bridge of choice and of truth. The ancients called it the Chinvat Bridge. the crossing that decides the soul's path. Imagine now that you are drifting toward that bridge. The world behind you has grown soft, as though it is a fading dream. Before you rises a glow, not harsh but gentle and warm. It is the glow of fire, eternal fire, the holy flame of Ahura Mazda, the flame that does not burn but reveals. Every soul must pass through its radiance. It is said that the fire is not only flame, but truth itself. Truth, shining like a lamp in the quiet night. The soul pauses before this light. There is no fear here, only the hush of waiting, like standing at the edge of dawn. The fire stretches out its rays, touching every hidden place in the spirit. It is not the light of judgment as punishment. It is the light of clarity. The way a lake reflects the face of the moon, the fire reflects the heart of the traveler. And then comes the bridge. The Chinvat bridge is not made of stone. It is woven from truth and lies, from kindness and cruelty, from all that was chosen in a lifetime. To some, the bridge appears wide, strong, and glowing with safety. To others, it narrows into a path sharp as a blade. It does not change itself. It only shows what already is. It mirrors the steps taken in the world of the living. In the stillness of this place, 3 figures draw near. They are the guardians of the bridge, the watchers of the soul, Srausha. The spirit of obedience and gentle guidance arrives first. His presence is like a hymn whispered in the wind, steady and protective. Then Mithra comes, the ancient Lord of Covenants, bright as the morning star. He watches with calm eyes that have seen every promise made and broken, and with them stands Rashnu, the angel of justice, holding scales that gleam with the fairness of eternal law. These 3 do not speak harshly. Their voices are like rivers, flowing slow and deep. They do not accuse. They do not condemn. They only hold the soul in balance, as one holds a feather in the palm. The scales of Rashnu are weightless yet unshakable. A single act of kindness rests upon them as surely as a stone. A single cruelty rests with equal weight. Nothing is forgotten, and yet nothing is twisted. The truth lies open, quiet as dawn. The fire burns beside them, casting its gentle glow. And here the soul sees itself clearly. Every gift it gave, every word it healed, every shadow it carried. Nothing is hidden in the judgment of light. And yet, this revelation is not meant to frighten, it is meant to awaken. It is meant to remind the spirit that every act is eternal, every whisper of kindness shines like a star, every moment of cruelty falls like ash upon the wind. The path now opens for those whose lives lean toward goodness. The bridge grows wide. It is said to open into gardens of unending light, gardens where streams flow with purity, where trees bear fruits that never fade, and where souls find rest in the presence of eternal joy. This place is called the House of Song. Here, the voices of the just rise together like a choir, and the soul floats as though it were part of a river of harmony. For others, whose choices weighed heavy with shadow, the bridge grows thin. It cuts like a narrow edge, and the soul cannot cross with ease. The path bends downward, into a place of cold and silence, not eternal fire, not endless punishment, but a dim reflection of what was lost. This is the house of lies, where the soul learns the pain it has caused, where shadow surrounds shadow, until the heart remembers what it has forgotten. Yet even here, the story is not one of cruelty, for Zoroastrian wisdom tells that in the end, all will be restored. All souls, even those who wander in shadow, will be gathered by Ahura Mazda into light. In the far future, when the world is renewed, when fire washes through creation not to destroy, but to purify, all will find peace. Every shadow will be burned away. Every broken promise will be healed. Every soul will step into the radiant garden, so the soul waits. Upon the bridge, the guardians stand with patience. The fire flickers not in anger, but in quiet care, and the night stretches around, soft and still, like a cloak woven from stars. Let us linger here, in this vision of balance. Let us rest in the thought that justice can be gentle, that truth can shine without cruelty. The ancients believed that each act was a seed, planted in time, It grows either as a tree of light or as thorns of shadow, but in the end, even thorns can be burned into ash, and from ash, the soil may grow pure once more. The judgment of light is not a closing door. It is a mirror, a bridge, a promise. It is the reminder that every step in this life matters. Each kindness, no matter how small, spreads like fire in the dark. Each truth spoken carries weight beyond the grave. Now the story softens. The bridge fades into mist. The fire sinks into a glow, like the last embers of a hearth at night. The guardians step back, their voices carried away like wind in the grass. The soul rests once more, calm in the embrace of silence. The stars return overhead, shining gently, watching like elders. The desert night cools. The sand no longer burns. The air no longer stirs. Only peace remains. Only the promise of dawn, still far away, waiting to rise. And so, let the soul drift onward. Let the fire of truth glow softly in memory. Let the bridge remain in the distance, calm and eternal. For now there is only rest, only the night, only the breath that rises and falls, like waves upon a shore. The story closes like a candle being dimmed, but its warmth lingers. Now rest, as the stars return. Now rest, as the judgment of light becomes only a dream of balance, gentle and kind. Now rest, as the garden of radiant dawn waits beyond the horizon. The night opens like a slow breath. Above, the heavens are wide and clear, the stars scattered as though sprinkled by an ancient hand. The air is cool, carrying the scent of dry grass and distant earth. It is the vast land of the steppe, open, endless, quiet beneath the dome of the sky. Here, in this stillness, stories of the soul have always been told. For the peoples of the great steppe, the afterlife was not a narrow gate, nor a hidden chamber. It was the open sky. The horizon was not an ending, but a beginning, stretching on forever. When the body rests in the soil, the spirit rises, light as breath, free as wind. It rides upward into the eternal blue. Close your eyes to the earth below. Feel the weight of the ground ease away. Above, the sky waits, boundless, patient, unbroken. It is not a sky of storm, but of calm. A sky where clouds drift like soft white herds, and where the sun sets gently into rivers of gold. This is the realm of freedom, the eternal home of the spirit. The ancients believed that when life ended, the soul became like a rider, mounting a horse made not of flesh, but of light and wind. This horse, strong and tireless, carried the spirit upward. Its hooves made no sound, for they did not touch the earth. They moved upon air itself, swift and silent. The rider and horse rose together, moving higher and higher, until the land below became small, like a memory fading at dusk. Others believed the soul might take the form of a bird, a hawk, a swan, or a crane, wings stretched wide against the endless sky. Feathers catching sunlight, feathers catching moonlight. Every beat of the wing carried the soul further, freer, into the eternal horizon. The bird did not tire. The bird did not falter. It was the spirit made weightless, drifting with ease upon unseen winds. In these beliefs, the sky was more than space above. It was Father Sky. It was Tengri, the Great Spirit, the one who stretched over all things. His blue cloak wrapped the earth. His gaze watched every rider, every child, every village fire. To return to the sky was to return to the embrace of this vast, eternal being. There was no wall, no gate, no chain, only the wide openness of the sky, welcoming all who rose. The steppe itself whispered of this truth. At dawn, when the first rays of sunlight touched the grass, the land seemed endless. At noon, when the heat shimmered, the horizon melted into blue. And at night, when stars filled the dome, one could feel the nearness of eternity. The people looked upward and saw not emptiness, but home. Listen closely. There is a sound carried on the wind. It is the sound of hooves, distant, echoing, soft as a heartbeat. It is the sound of wings, steady, sweeping like the breath of the earth. These are the sounds of spirits moving into the eternal sky. Every ancestor has risen this way. Every life, when ended, becomes part of this endless flight. Some spoke of camps beyond the horizon, great open fields where ancestors gather, where fires burn but never fade, where herds graze without end. Others spoke of rivers of light that flow through the heavens, paths of stars leading to tents woven of sky. There, the spirit is welcomed with warmth, given food, given song, surrounded by kin who had journeyed before. It is not a place of loneliness. It is a place of reunion, where every soul finds its people once again. The eternal sky holds both silence and song. At times, the soul drifts in stillness, resting in the quiet blue. At times, the spirit hears music, the low hum of drums, the deep chant of voices rising with the wind. These are the voices of ancestors, voices carried across centuries, still echoing in the vastness. They do not fade, for the sky has no end. Imagine yourself rising into this sky. At first, the air is cool, brushing against your face like soft silk. Your body feels lighter, your thoughts drift like clouds. The ground falls away and the horizon becomes round, endless. There is no fear here. The sky does not press down, it lifts, it carries, it opens. You are not falling, you are floating, you are not leaving, you are returning. The soul remembers this home. Even as a child, gazing upward into the wide blue, the spirit knew. The sky was not only above, it was destiny, it was origin, it was eternity, and now, in the afterlife, the soul comes to it fully, resting in its arms. Steppe shamans told that the sky was layered. There were many levels, many domes, each one higher than the last. The soul could rise through them, step by step, breath by breath, wing by wing. Each layer grew brighter, purer, calmer. At the highest dome, the spirit entered the heart of eternity where Tengri himself awaited. Here, the soul became one with the sky, endless as air, timeless as wind. The eternal sky is not heavy with judgment. It is not a place of fear. It is freedom itself. It is the boundless breath, the eternal horizon, the blue that stretches forever. To enter it is to be unchained. To enter it is to belong. The night deepens now. The stars seem closer, as though leaning down to listen. The grass sways in the dark, and the wind hums a lullaby across the empty steppe. It is the sound of eternity whispering. It is the sound of ancestors calling, softly, gently, like a song sung long ago. The soul rises higher, carried by unseen wings. It passes through clouds soft as cotton, through air thin and light. It does not stop. It does not tire. Every breath lifts it further. Every memory becomes lighter. Soon, there is no weight at all, only sky, only blue, only peace. Here, let the spirit rest. No chains, no walls, no burdens, only the endless dome, spread wide forever. Only the eternal sky, patient and vast, holding every soul as though it were a bird in flight. Now the story closes like the horizon at dusk. The fires of the ancestors flicker in the distance. The wind carries the sound of hooves, fading gently into silence. Above, the sky remains endless, waiting, eternal. Let us drift onward. Let the soul rest upon its wings. Let the eternal sky embrace it. O wide and calm. Now rest as the stars return. Now rest. As the horizon fades into dream. Now rest, carried forever into the boundless blue. The night is gentle. The stars are scattered like glowing seeds across the velvet sky. The air is calm, holding the quiet song of crickets and the low hush of wind brushing over still waters. This is the place of endings and of beginnings, a circle drawn slowly, closing upon itself with grace. The journey has been long. Through many lands and many stories, the spirit has wandered. It has crossed rivers of shadow and light. It has walked among gardens eternal, feasted in halls of joy, risen into skies unending. Each vision was different, yet each carried the same truth. The soul, when it departs, is never lost. It drifts homeward, again and again, into peace. Now let the circle complete. Let all paths join into one gentle road. No longer are there divisions of belief or name. No longer the separations of river, star, or field. There is only rest. There is only return. The ancients of every land, though scattered by distance, dreamed in harmony. To some the soul was a bird rising on white wings, to others a rider galloping into the sky. Still others saw the spirit as light itself, a spark carried back to the source. Every image was a mirror, reflecting the same mystery. The soul comes to peace. The soul comes to stillness. The soul comes to home. Imagine this now. You drift within a wide meadow. The grass is soft beneath your feet, swaying with the gentlest wind. A river shines nearby, its waters silver beneath the moon. Overhead the sky's endless, carrying stars like lanterns. Each element belongs to every tradition, every people. The meadow, the river, the sky, they are all one. They hold you gently, as if you have always belonged here. The circle of the spirit is not harsh. It does not end with walls or gates. It folds around like a soft embrace. It carries each soul from breath to silence, from silence to breath. Birth and death, waking and sleep, inhale and exhale. All of it is one motion, one turning, one circle. In the east, the wheel of life was seen turning forever, carrying the spirit through many forms. In the west, rivers flowed to eternal shores, carrying the soul across. In the north, halls of feasting awaited, fires glowing against endless night. In the south, ancestors gathered by sacred fires, calling each child home. All directions point inward. All directions point to peace. The spirit does not vanish. It does not fall into nothing. It changes shape, like clouds drifting across the sky. It changes song, like wind moving through trees. It changes form, like water poured into new vessels. But the essence remains. The circle remains. Here at the closing of the journey, let the soul rest in the great mystery. Not a puzzle to solve, not a secret to break, but a mystery to embrace. Like the night itself, endless, dark, yet filled with stars. Like the sea, deep, unknown, yet carrying every reflection of the moon. Like sleep, soft, still, yet holding dream after dream. The ancients sat by fires, speaking softly, telling their children that death was not the end. The Greeks spoke of islands beyond the sea. The Norse sang of halls where warriors met again. The Egyptians painted the fields of reeds, green and eternal. The Hindus told of rebirth, the wheel forever turning. The Africans spoke of ancestors waiting, their voices warm and near. The Celts dreamed of twilight isles, glowing orchards across the waves. The Persians spoke of judgment in light, of truth shining clear. The nomads of the steppe lifted their eyes to the endless blue sky. Every tale was different, yet every tale was the same. The soul does not vanish. The soul returns. The soul rests. Now let the circle draw close around you. The meadow fades into the river. The river rises into the sky. The sky fills with stars, and the stars soften into sleep. You float as if upon a tide. The breath within you slows, deep and steady, carrying you onward. No need to walk, no need to climb, no need to strive. The circle moves itself. You are already carried. You are already home. The great mystery holds you, as it held all before you, as it will hold all after you. The circle has no end, no break, no edge. It is whole. It is complete. It is peace. Let your spirit rest here. Not striving, not reaching. Simply resting, like a stone in the riverbed, like a star in the sky. The mystery surrounds you. The circle closes softly, gently, without fear. And so the journey ends, though it never truly ends. It becomes still. It becomes sleep. It becomes the quiet return. Now the fires grow dim. The river grows still. The sky closes its eyes. And the stars, one by one, drift into silence. Let us drift onward. Let the circle complete. Let the soul rest. Now rest as the stars return. Now rest as the circle carries you home. Now rest in the great mystery.